Hey everyone, it's Snark with Snark's Domain, taking apart a GPU, and we are going to test another putty. Pretty exciting. I don't know if the audio is going to sound weird or different or bad, but if it sounds bad, you just let me know and I'll tweak it as best I can. Now that I've got a Rodecaster Pro 2, which I got in the hopes of improving audio, so hopefully it's not any worse than it used to be. It was kind of all over the place. Okay, I've got to clean that one. That one's got some putty in the threads. Oh yeah. Should be good. But hopefully you guys are doing good tonight. Oh, I'm gonna open that. How do I... timestamps. Meh. Maybe I'll test. Maybe that's not how you spell test. I should probably know how to spell that word. I do. Test. Okay. Was that screwdriver just sitting there by itself? Is the magnet that good that it was just holding it up? Yeah, pretty cool. We zoomed out here? Yeah, we're zoomed out. Yeah, so I've kind of like redone my my audio setup with this new Rodecaster. It's pretty cool. It's kind of complicated. Audio sounds good to T-Sharp. T-Sharp in the Discord. You can either chat there or here or anywhere. Sounds good, dude. I can also play with the 3-band equalizer if bass or treble seem off. I'll have to listen to this stream later on my phone just to see what it sounds like through less than ideal speaker setup. So, all right. So this is Jarapad Basic that we're looking at right now, and we are going to. Do I have a jar for the I think I do. Jarapad. That's, you know, I think I'm gonna just make it easy on myself tonight, and we're gonna scoop it off, and then probably, oh, that's so nice. I have to measure this stuff on the calipers. You know what, let's do that now. Since we got the calipers here, I'll forget if I don't. So sounds very, I don't like overcomplicated. Natural. Oh, natural. Oh yeah.
Excellent.
Did you guys hear the excellent? Hopefully that was a little soundbite connected to a thing. Okay, so we got some putty here. I'm just gonna scoop that on there. Make sure this is in millimeters. Yeah, nice. So I don't know what this stuff's gonna measure. It's looking like a, yeah, it's about, seems about right. We're gonna go with 0.13, I think. I don't know what it was before, but it's coming up 0.13. Yeah, I'll just put it on the video card. That sounds good, right? Okay, I'll clean those up after the stream. Yeah, so we're playing around with a new audio controller, and so far so good, I think. It's been fun to play with for video games and stuff too. Lately I've been playing Arc Raiders. I was playing Helldivers 2 for like a year and a half. Pretty solid. As like one of the only games I was playing during that time. Man, I don't want to toss that putty. We're not going to toss it. We're just going to put it right. That's nice. Barbadolid 5170. What do you do with the old tested putties? Do you reuse them for customer cards? No. I'm pretty like, I'm hesitant to use used putty on other people's stuff other than my own. So I'll like save it and use it for just like whatever. If I'm redoing one of my own cards, I'll use it there. Sometimes I just put it in a jar and forget about it. That's mostly what happens. I have, I don't know how many jars of used putty. A lot. Too many. More than I can use myself. So I'm trying to come up with ways where I can kind of work through my putty stockpile in a useful way. Thing is, I can only putty so many of my own devices before I run out, so yeah. Alright, this is cleaning up nicely. So the basic that we just took off, that's like the latest version of Jarapad Basic, which used to be called U6 Pro from Upsiren. It's still made by the same company, still even sold by Upsiren. It's just under a new brand, and that's to contend with the trademark war with Computer Systems GR that they've been kind of battling with for last couple years. Ever since the first U6 Pro came out and it was so good, and that made someone very, very upset in Greece, and so they trademarked the phrase original Upsiren U6 Pro and original Upsiren UX Pro, which is what the CSGR actually calls their two putties that they were selling under that name. And they've like copied the artwork and stuff that Upsiren China came up with. So yeah, hence the rebranding after they unfortunately Upsiren China forgot to do all of the trademark categories. So when they initially filed for, is that right? Filed or registered for trademark, they accidentally only registered it under class, is it 9 or 1? One or the other. They only registered the PC accessories, the brand name under that. And then they came out with a whole bunch of products, and then I was like testing all these putties, and they were like, oh, we should make a putty. And they let me know they were going to make a putty, and then they did. They've made 5 now. And they just put it underneath the same brand name. And they didn't have the trademark registered under class 1, which covers thermal paste pads and stuff. So then Computer Systems GR swooped in and grabbed that in the US. I think they just got that this summer now. So now it's going to be a lot simpler to buy the good stuff from China, which is pretty funny how that works out. And Computer Systems GR no longer gets to enjoy some free marketing because, of course, we've got thousands of comments out there with us talking about different putties. And U6 Pro and UX Pro come up quite a bit. But now those are not really products anymore from China. So now it'll be pretty simple to figure out which one you've got. All right, this is looking pretty clean. I think we are going to go, we got some paste here. This is my new spreader. Yeah, my new spreader. Wipe that clean. Curry. Wait, he's streaming? 1 moment, I'm tuning in. We'll wait for you, Curry. Or battle it. Thought the legal battle had come to an end already. Yeah, basically. Note to self, do not make the Greeks angry. I don't think that's possible to not make them angry. I even said nice things about their version of UX Pro, because it is a good putty, but just a little overpriced is all. Well, and the whole trademark thing kind of like rubs people wrong, so I can understand if people don't want to buy that putty, and I'm not gonna try and push it on anyone, unless you're somewhere where you can't get any other putty and you're stuck, then that's probably a decent way to go. But then at that point, just get Thermal Grizzly stuff, which is just as widely accessible, typically, anyways. All right, so I spread the paste, just good old MX4 we use for testing. and a little dot in the middle, which is what I like to do. And we are going to open this thing up here. Now I want to just move. Only problem with having new gear is that desk space is at a premium, so I like that Amazon includes batteries when you buy something like a Fire TV stick, which we might apply some putty to a Fire Stick today, I think. That's the plan anyways. Alright, I'm going to move the card up a little bit, and then you guys can... It's a white lid, so it's basically, you know, UTP-8 or Jarapad Extreme. Now, UTP-8 is still sold on AliExpress. You can get it either as UTP-8 or Jarapad Extreme, same thing. But it's due for a retest, and that's why we're here today, because they've undergone a lot of changes over the last, well, year or so here. And I think it's about time we figure out if it's still good or not. So, do you guys think the music's too loud? Yeah, I can turn the music down just a touch. How's that? Hopefully that's a little bit better. I've got it at 8 now. Yeah, I'll have to spend a bit of time rebalancing the audio. I'm going to try hand rolling this, so I prefer that method. And we're going to see how it does. Hand rolling it, so... happy to hear I'm not the only one who repastes every device around that. Yeah, you know, once you go putty, it's hard to not turn it down a little bit. Yeah, music. Okay, I'm gonna turn down. How's that, you guys? Is that a little bit better? Oh, I can turn it down here too. Let's see if that sounds a bit better with the audio. We'll go -4 decibels on the desktop slider in the OBS mixer. Too much audio control now. That's okay. It's a good problem to have, I think. Alright, so we're aiming for roughly 6 millimeters. So it's looking like a 7.5 right now. That's looking pretty good there. So we're going to make a really big log here, and then we're just going to trim it up as needed. Notice my fingers are at a 45-degree angle to the putty. I find that that's one of the best ways to roll it pretty consistently. I'm pretty happy with that. We can check the nozzle. Super scientific, eh? Yeah, it's like 6 and change. I'm happy with that. This was just in case we decided to use that method, but I'm going to take a chunk of putty. This stuff does ham form really nice. It's not as sticky as some putties, which is fine. We're just going to dab it on there, just so it leaves a light. You guys see that, eh? You don't need any special UV light to see where the putty imprints on the card. CSGR, that joke's for you. Hopefully you understand that. I'm sure you do. How'd your trade show go, CSGR? Did it go good? Lots of people show up and take free samples of your toxic waste? No, it's not toxic waste, but it's interesting that they added a UV putty. We're going to get some of that to test too. I'm hoping I can. I should be able to get that before Christmas, I think. We also have some putties coming from Hound's Eye. They are going to ship those tomorrow, and then I should have them pretty quick. I'm not too worried about shipping speed, though. I'd rather... cheap shipping is better than expensive and fast, so... We've got a couple other putties we got to test as well, so... Yeah, we just put a little log there. Now, I'm not trying to flatten it down. I just want to press it on there so it sticks. That's all we're doing there. I like this consistency, I'll say. I find it easy to chop. It is soft, and that's okay. We're trying to find a balance here, folks, between soft, sticky, squishy, and performant. And there's a lot of competition now, so like there's quite a few good putties like Laird, Honeywell, Thermal Grizzly, Fahonda, G-Lid, with more on the way. I mean, I'm sure Fuji Poly's probably pretty good too. So yeah, we're gonna go with that for our putty application, at least for the card. We're gonna see what we're gonna do about how different does it feel, Curry says, from UTP-8. Okay, that is Jarapad. Let me grab some UTP. I think I've got some close by. All right, so just a little bit stuck there. So this is Jarapad here on the left, right? And this is Upsiren, UTP-8. Just gonna splatter the card with some ISO accidentally. Yeah, about the same. The pink colors are pretty similar to the lids. Can I accidentally swap them? That's a flush fit. Yeah, so I'll have to be careful to keep the lids on correctly. Packaging's the same. Yeah. They're, as far as I can tell, they're identical, which is what we were expecting them to be. Now, this one might have just the slightly more fine stuff. Who knows? I'd have to get access to some sort of really powerful microscope, better than the one I've got, and see what the particle sizes come out as, if it's different at all or not. But no, they look the same, but this is definitely feels like a smoother, slightly smoother consistency. That's not very quantifiable. They feel that identical to me. Yeah, I think that's where I'll leave that. That headphone looked very used. Yeah, I need to get, it's a Razer headphone. Now that I've got a Rodecaster Pro 2, I'm looking at upgrading my headphone. Doesn't even have to be super expensive. But I want to get like a better monitor headphone that is going to make it so that doesn't have a volume thing on the cord. I don't want that anymore. I find that can cause problems, like it'll bump against my shirt and then turn itself down audio-wise. So yeah, let's just polish that a little, make sure it's nice and clean. And of course, what should we do? We should get some of those. I'll just grab some gloves. And we're going to touch up the TGPP10, which is still going strong after years of use. Snacks. So UTP-8 and H10000 technically perform very similar to each other. But what warrants the $1 per gram price of H10000 from Honeywell? Would it last longer than UTP Jarapad Extreme? No, it's going to last just about the same. It's H10000. It's actually been in use for, I want to say, at least 3 years. Like I got mine from Eugenic KH from Ukraine. And he was saying he's got customers that have been using it for the last, well, now it'd be almost 4 years. And he's noticing like similar stuff where after a while it'll gel a little bit, especially on the coils, which end up being pretty hot MOSFETs, but still just as performant, with people's temps reporting basically unchanged, even if the putty starts to gel. So yeah, I mean, the more we learn about putty, the more I tend to like it. Is there a perfect putty? I mean, I'm pretty happy with TGPP10. It's the one we've tested the longest, so it's not as performant as others, but it's still great. Of course, we can't get that anymore. Okay, we've touched up those TGPP10s, so we are good for touchdown. We spin the card around. That's what I was looking for a second ago. Meh. All right, we'll do a tilt test. Hey, the putty's still there. What do you know? Perfect. Wow. So very good. We did it again, didn't we? We forgot to clean this guy. That's not good, folks. We're getting forgetful here. Let's just try and clean this up a little bit. Otherwise, I'm going to ruin that screw, and I don't really want to do that. Okay. There we go. And we'll get our screws back. How much is the HY 2010? It's pretty cheap, but it doesn't. Well, I need to get, so that's one of the putties that Helens Eye is going to send me here, is their new version of their 10 watt putties. I think they're going to be increasing the particle size a little bit further, which is kind of in line what we're expecting for the higher performing putties at the top of the chart. I told them just to leave, you know, HY 206, 236 ones alone. Now there's two different variants of the 236. The pink stuff specifically has a thick and a thin. The thick one is the one that we like to use, and it's on the charts. But I've got some, I think I've got 50 grams of the thin stuff and 50 grams of the thick stuff coming, so we can test that. That being said, if you're buying 206 and they ask you like what you're using it for, just be like, yeah, I'm using it for GPUs, for the VRAM and stuff, and then they'll send you the thick stuff. If you've got ASICs and you need a bunch of putty, you should probably just contact Helens Eye directly, Tim, with their sales link there in their website, and then they'll send you the thin stuff because you've got higher surface area with your dozens and dozens of ASIC chips, and then that's where the thin stuff is used. But the rest of us, you know, whether it's laptops or video cards, like I like the thick stuff. Both should work fine. We're going to make sure that they both perform basically the same, and hopefully that's the case. But yeah, any other color like blue, black, white, green, blue, black, white, green, they only have the thick version of those in the 206 line. So if you're on like Alibaba or eBuy 7, maybe even AliExpress, and you get a different color, you're going to get like a nice consistency for putty. So that's worth keeping in mind in case you were looking at buying a bunch. I kind of wonder what the prices are going to be going forward the next couple of years for putty. Whether it's still going to be really competitive on price per device, because you don't have to buy multiple sizes. I'm hoping it is. But good thing you don't actually need that much of it most of the time. Maybe 600. I asked them if they'd maybe call it something different just to make it easier, but apparently there's like some markings on the bottom of Helmseye putties. It's either a 140 or a 200, and I think the 200 is the liquidier stuff, like more silicone oil, I assume, and the 140 is supposed to be the thick stuff. I haven't been able to find that on most of my containers. I guess I should really dig out my containers of... I haven't bought a whole lot of 236. Like, I've got 256 green, but that is the thick version. So, yeah, I've given away a lot more 236 than I've personally used. But, yeah, either way, that's the card. Done. Now I'm going to put that out of the way for now and get that little dab of putty. I might have to clean the card here before I put it in the test bench. Which if I do, I'll probably take the fans and the shroud off, give it a light dusting, and then put it back together. We don't have to take the heatsink off at all, which is kind of nice. We'll sit that up there for now. And we're going to clean this area here. Gaming from John Wayne. Is it better than Dragnut? Shit, didn't spell it right. Duronaut? Well, Duronaut's paste, and we're testing putty today. But yeah, you wouldn't want to use Duronaut on your VRAM. Definitely use a thermal putty. Alright, let's do my new Fire TV stick. Because I couldn't find my remote for my my other one. So we're just gonna redo it here. And we're going to sacrifice one of these spreaders as a pry tool, I think. So this only goes in one way. So that'll be easy to figure out later. And then we got to peel these guys off. Nice. Man, too many containers. We're gonna have to start a new container, I think. That's okay, it happens. All right. Here we go. We're gonna put the green in this one. I'm gonna wash a couple of these guys here. I think I hear my daughter stomping on the floor upstairs. She's feeling a little under the weather right now, so hopefully she feels better in the next couple days. Fingers crossed. It's one of those flus going around. Alright, so we're going to put some green Amazon putty in this little container here. Glad that they color code it, makes it a little bit easier later on. I figured out I have to buy like another 10 of these to have enough putty to throw in the test card. So, fun times. Thanks, Amazon. Now we're going to heat this up again. Yeah, it's kind of annoying when people are getting the thin stuff when they're trying to buy the thick stuff. Which I think most people buy the thick stuff. And they didn't used to have two kinds until someone was putting it on ASICs and they asked for like a thinner viscosity, so it's kind of unfortunate. Those miners. ruining it all for the us gamers. Yeah, I remember this one being a little bit harder to scrape out from in between the tiny little components, and you get less putty. They did a good job of application though. I'm sure it's automated. Just a little dabble, do ya? Is Helm's Eye 210 the series putty good for laptops with thin gaps? Nah, I wouldn't bother with 210. To be honest, for not in its current state. For laptops, especially Asus, you're much better off getting 206. 236, 256, the 6-watt stuff with the 0.03 millimeter size particles. It can squish super thin, holds its shape well, at least the thick stuff does. Of course, I'll be retesting those once I get the new samples. I think I'm paying $30 for 200 or so, 300. grams of putty, and then shipping is like 40 US, so that'll actually probably get to me pretty quick then. 72.50 US, whatever that is in Canadian, is like 106, 107, something like that, depending on what the exchange rate is today. But yeah, I just sent that off before the stream actually. And then I think that's all the money I'm going to spend until Christmas. Until I get my Christmas money. Then we'll buy more putty. As per usual. You guys have a good weekend? Mine was pretty packed full of family and kids and food, so... Did you say the best thermal putties we use, like UTP, LTP81, etc., last just as long as the best thermal pads like Fuji Poly, or maybe even longer? So Fuji Poly does make some pretty great stuff, and I find it hard to get Fuji Poly stuff for testing, and that's because they... Maybe I'll have to reach out to them again. Maybe they'll send me some stuff, but I'd like to test some of their pads for sure. And if they have a putty, I'll test that too. I would say putties are going to be, in general, lasting longer. Both staying softer for longer and just maintaining their performance. And there's a couple reasons why I think that. Okay, this one goes like this, because it wouldn't line up there. So we're just going to get some Jarapad Basic. No, we'll go Jarapad Extreme, just because we have some here. Then I can test it on my Fire Stick in the hotel room tonight, instead of just on a video card. We'll just do those benchmark test things on it, if I can get that downloaded. Okay, we're gonna put, again, this doesn't take much putty. You can easily overdo it on a Fire Stick. You need about 2 grams of putty max, and then if you want to add a bit more after I show you what I'm going to do with it, then you can add more too. Okay, that didn't work. This is the green one, which is this guy and not that guy. Okay, so we're going to line this up. Pretty easy to do. Just don't mess it up. And it's got some nice double-sided tape there, which works pretty good. And then this with all the tiny little components. We're just gonna squeeze it in there, give it a little bit of a peek. You guys can see that, eh? And then push this down into it. And it's gonna make some good thermal contact, and I don't think I used too much. There's hardly any coming out the edge, just a little bit there. That's okay, it's not gonna hurt anything. Now, they have these like copper, what, I don't know, interference shields, whatever those are called, for EMI radiation, electromagnetic interference, I think that's what it's called. And so they're not really using them for heat spreading. I'm gonna transfer a bit of heat to them, because that's what I like to do. And it should give it a bit more thermal mass, as well as maybe, just maybe, a little bit extra cooling.
Excellent.
Thanks, Terminator. Okay, let me take the gloves off here. And there's just this little bit of sticky tape. I've done this 5 or 6 times now, so on fire sticks. It's kind of fun to do. Once you figure out how to crack the clamshell plastic case apart anyways. But yeah, I've been pretty busy with like life and work and kids. My wife's gonna be going back to work here in the next 4 weeks somewhere. We're not sure quite where yet, 'cause she's trying to apply for a different job. Hopefully she gets that job. That'd be awesome. But if not, then she'll still go back to her old employer and then just keep trying to get in with this other company. But it's going to be good because we've got some childcare stuff for our kids. My daughter's in school. My son, he's going to be turning 2 next year. And so when I come home from a job right now, it's pretty much, you know, like, what do you want to have for supper? Okay, figure that out. Watch the kids, make supper, put the kids to bed, yada yada, rinse and repeat. And I find it's hard to find enough free time and sometimes energy to do a stream about thermal putty, as much as I love thermal putty. So that's been kind of cutting into the last, I'd say, year plus of my content of testing things. Now, that's not the only reason. It's sometimes you got to take little breaks here and there too, but I've been taking bigger breaks and stuff. But I want to get back on the horse and make a bunch of videos and tests and get Test Bench 3 going and get the laptop switched out for a Lenovo Legion. And man, I'm just struggling with these gloves. We're going to go with one glove. It's going to work. Okay, so what you want to do is be really mindful of the charging port, which I really wish was USB-C. It's shocking that we still are making electronics that don't have USB-C. It doesn't make sense to me at all. But since we're going to be laying it down in here, and that's going to go just like that, we're going to put some on this front area here, and the charge port is on the side right there. I don't want putty to squish out there because this stuff is an insulator of sorts, so it's going to make it a little bit harder to get the cable plugged in there. You don't need tons, maybe like a 4 or 5 millimeter log if you're doing log technique, which is my preferred method. And we're just going to flatten down the front there a little bit. Doesn't have to be perfect. It's putty, folks. It's putty.
Excellent.
Excellent. So I have too much fun with the soundboard controls. I'm sorry, but not really sorry. Okay, so we just snap that in place. So far, so good. We don't have any excess squeezing out of the charge port. There's nothing coming out the front. Now we're going to add some here as well. Just kind of a ovoid blob named Bob. I think that's going to work. And then this is going to go like this. Now this sort of just clips into place, but I usually do the front first. You got to squeeze the edges in a little bit. Don't go too hard on it. Did I do that right? Well, I might have done it in the wrong orientation. Kind of don't think so though. That's right. Yeah, that's right. Does just kind of snap together. You gotta squish the putty, gotta squish the plastic. Just give it a good little flex. not too much. It's back together. We don't have any putty in the charging port. I don't know if you guys can see that or not, but let's see. It's clean. There's the back of it. And then it'll still plug into the little dongle. But you know, before we do that, we're going to do the smart thing. And we're going to clean the whole thing. Wipe it down. Here we go. Fire TV stick. You can thank me later, Amazon. Yeah, and then we're going to put this lid back on. We should probably see what the results are for what Jarapad Basic, I guess. So let me just get a couple things tidied up here and then we'll do that. Put that over there for now to figure out what to do with that. Very nice. Yeah, feels like a work desk again. Let me see what I can do here. Ooh, that's the only thing. Did I? Fish Happy says, did Upsider rebranded to Jarapad? Yes, they did. Snacks. Oh, what specs in the Lenovo Legion laptop you're upgrading to? I think it's the 165 watt TGP 6800 XT something mobile video card, AMD video card. It's the one that will have 0.1 degree increments Celsius of VRAM temperatures, making the data actually useful, just like TestBench 3. TestBench 2 VRAM. Oh man, I didn't. Okay, folks, I'm sorry. I didn't transfer the files off of TestBench 2 yet. I am going to have to pick that up next time I do a stream to figure out what it does. But I'll get this card in and cranking away, and then 8 o'clock Alberta time, I'm gonna have to hit the road. But maybe 600x buyer stuff. Need to be more durable. Yeah, cheers, Curry. Have a good one, man. Yeah, I am going to call it for tonight, unfortunately. And I'll have to transfer the files over to this computer so I can fiddle with them in Excel and then see what the results are. But yeah, that's it for tonight. I'm going to be going to work for a couple days, but thanks for tuning in, guys. And yeah, I'll catch you guys in a day or two, hopefully here. You guys have a good night. Peace.
My CPU is a neural net processor, a learning computer. I'm a Terminator.
Ah! I need a medic bag!
I'll be back.
Good night, folks.